Sarah Bright Dot Fly Fishing Guide Service. I've been teaching, guiding, writing, and lecturing on fly fishing since 1982. Well, let's get to this week's fly fishing report. Upper Owens River, well, there's hatches going on, which is good news if you like fishing dry flies. We've been catching them on Adams parachutes and also on elk hair caddises. Under the water, we've been nymphing, and up there, we're using gold-ribbed hare's ears and pheasant tails. I've heard of a few guys fishing San Juan worms and catching some trophy trout up there. Bulk of what we're catching right now have been the juvenile 6 to 10 inch fish, but there are still some trophy trout in there, and those primarily are taking the nymphs. You just got to cover a lot of water to find those fish. Okay, let's go over to Hot Creek. Hot Creek, it's cleared up, it's slowly reseeding, and the fish still are not really coming to the surface, but what they're doing is they're feeding on the nymphs. Both the canyon and the interpretive site are both producing fish, and I'm primarily using my Euro nymphing rig up in there, so I'm fishing the hotspot pheasant tail, the stoner nymph, and a green gold prince nymph, and I've also been using the hydropsyche, which is my olive burlap caddis imitation up there. All right, let's go over to Crawley Lake. Crawley Lake, it's at full pool right now. I don't think it's going to spill over the spillway, but it's as full as I've ever seen the lake. Well, it's causing two minor problems. There was so many fish when it was small, that same amount of fish is when it's large. Nobody can find the fish. They're here, they're gone tomorrow. So you just got to work around different spots to find where the fish are. The other problem is that the midges haven't really repopulated the areas that were dry, and the areas that were shallow are now deep, and the midges aren't hatching in there, so there's not a good midge hatch. What most of the guides are doing right now are turning to the young of the year Sacramento perch, using balanced leach patterns for that. They're also fishing damselfly nymphs and calabatus mayfly nymphs in there. So on any given day it can be great, on every given day it can be really slow there. Okay, let's head down to what? The Lower Owens River. I said I wouldn't talk about fishing it until October. Well, two things have changed. The flows are down to 300 CFS. You got to check it all the time because it drops and then it goes back up to 400 CFS. Right now it's at 300 CFS. But what's more exciting is they've done repair work on Chalk Bluff Road. So the entire section of Chalk Bluff Road from the gravel plant all the way up to the reservoir is now open to driving. So that means we can fish anywhere in the wild trout section now, not just above 5 bridges. What are the fish doing in there? Well, they haven't seen flies, so it's easy pickings right now. I'm still using my Euro nymph rig in there, and again, I'm switched over to the hydropsyche, which is a caddis, free living caddis pattern, and there are tons of them in there, so it's working really good. And then the stoner and a hotspot pheasant tail. And we're working the areas from the banks. 300 CFS is the top limit of what I let people wade in there. It's still pretty high. Okay, Bishop Creek Canal. Kind of a personal little comment about Bishop Creek Canal. If you're going to catch and release, please take care of the fish in there and handle them right. I've seen a lot of guys trying to do catch and release. I don't think those fish are surviving. They're landing them, putting them in a net, walking over to the car, grabbing pliers, unhooking them, letting them back in the water. Between flopping around on the ground and being out of the water for so long, those fish just are not gonna survive. So how's the fish in there? It's improving, particularly because they're stocking a lot in there. Seen a lot of 14 to 18 inch rainbows being caught in there, and then I'm catching a fair number of wild brown trout in there. I'm going out, and again, same old for the Euro nymph system. I'm using the hotspot pheasant tail, the stoner nymph, and the green gold prince nymph. And then under the indicator, we're using pheasant tail nymphs, and we're using gold-ribbed hare's ears, and we're starting to use some midges in there. And that's all catching fish for us. Hi, I've been Fred Rowe from Sierra Bright Dot Fly Fishing Guide Service. I can be found on Instagram or Facebook, or you can join me on Tuesdays. Meet me at Mahogany Smoked Meats from 9 to 11. Let's talk fly fishing. Or I can be found on lpptv.us.